Hello, everyone. We are here for mapping with the moon, day one. I am so happy to spend time with all of you this evening, especially on this day where we are also celebrating the Lunar New Year. And first of all, whether you are here live or you're watching this at a later time, take a moment to check in with yourself. How are you feeling today? And how has this eclipse affected you? Some of us, myself included, we can feel a little tired during eclipse season. Our sleep can get disrupted. Just a lot of energy is moving. So if you're here live, go ahead and say hello and let me know where you are tuning in from. And again, this is a time to just meet with yourself. So eclipses can be a really intense time. Eclipses are highly karmic. They can be activating. And when we have a solar eclipse that's happening, we are also having a new moon. And with this time comes some new beginnings. And because it's a solar eclipse, these beginnings can feel pretty jarring. And even if you're not feeling the impact of the eclipse today, you may have been already feeling it. I think that we can all agree that there are so many changes happening. There is so much intensity. Everything feels really activated right now. And this eclipse, this solar eclipse, this new moon that is happening in Aquarius is really calling us into the future. And if you take a moment to connect with your future self, I wonder what advice they would give you. And I see Embodied Vibrance 333 is here from San Diego to Portland. Candace, is this you? I'm so happy you're here. San Diego is so beautiful. And with Aquarius is calling us into this new beginning. It is this way to really allow us to tap in with what our future self and what the future of humanity is asking of us. This solar eclipse in Aquarius is calling you into higher levels of your individuality, of your essence. As you may have noticed, so much is shifting right now. So much seems to be very volatile. And these systems are collapsing in front of us, and this can feel very scary. And for those of us that don't do well with change, this can be especially like we can feel anxious. And when these eclipses happen, they can show us parts of our lives that are up to be changed. And some of us feel things more strongly than others, but this eclipse, especially with its connection to the lunar nodes, which the North Node, which is in Pisces right now, this is very much about where our souls are being called toward. So we're being called toward these new levels of compassion, of trust, of listening to our intuition, of this creative way of thinking. And combined with this new moon and this new beginning in Aquarius, where the future is calling us, this looks very much like a landscape that we have not walked before. And at least maybe not here. Maybe there have been other places we've been incarnated where we've walked this and we can, pull toward that reality to support us. But really, everyone who is incarnated right now and who is consciously moving forward with this intensity, all of you were meant to be here for a reason. Your essence is required. And I'm looking at the chat right now. Candace says, she tells me I look amazing. Oh, honey, thank you so much. And now you're empowered. Says, hi, Lauren, love you, buddy. Oh, Thomas, I think this is you. I love you too. I'm so happy to see everyone that's here. And wow. Okay. So as we move through mapping with the moon, I want to just connect with why it's so important that we do this. We have all grown up with the life template. And even if it wasn't something that we personally subscribed to, or maybe our families were a little more unconventional, it's been in the ethers that we're supposed to do our lives a certain way. And there is just so much energy that is placed on accomplishment, on power, but power in this greedy and dominant kind of way, and hustling, producing, and all of this it can feel really agitating and irritating. And with this solar eclipse in Aquarius, there are parts of you that are being shaken up right now, that are noticing ways that the life template has impacted you. And ways that you no longer want to maybe conform to that. And what can feel uncomfortable about it is that this is a path that you haven't really walked before. Even if you are someone who is not necessarily mainstream, this is still a path that is requiring and asking you to let go a little bit more and to start this path of radical authenticity. And look at how important that is, especially now with how everybody's filtered and all of the AI, and it just there's just so much happening, and it's up to us to work with these tools and these new energies from this place of integrity, while also allowing our individuality to shine. this is not the time to play it safe. And I don't mean to rock the boat for the sake of drama, but what I do mean, it's time to stop abandoning yourself so that other people like you. Looking at the chat, aw, Tamika, I am so glad that you're here. I'm going to check Instagram and see. Oh, hi, Allie. Hi, Casey. I'm so glad that you're here. Jamie, I am married. I'm very married. So no, I'm not single, you know. Anyway, this is a time for us, like speaking of being married and single, this is a time where we're really being asked to do our relationships in a way that really honors our soul essence. Again, there's what keeps coming through as I tune in is it's no longer acceptable to abandon yourself. Now, something about Aquarius, because that's where this new moon, where this solar eclipse is taking place. Aquarius, in its highest and best form, serves humanity, serves the collective. And it's what is coming through for you to know is that the more authentic you are, the more in service that is to the people that you're in relationships with and to humanity, to the world. And with that comes that there may be places within ourselves that require that inner healing so that we can look at what stops us from letting our creativity flow. What stops us from constantly trying to fit in, to dig in our heels when we know that what we're doing isn't good for us. And when we can be honest with ourselves about that, we can be free. So as we go through eclipse season, we are moving toward our lunar eclipse, which is also a full moon. This is going to happen in 2 weeks, and we are going to be here together for mapping with the moon, call 3. So what we're doing is we are really building up this new beginning of what our life would look like if we allowed our authentic essence to shine through. So I want you to take a moment. This is a time to be honest with yourself. When you let yourself daydream, where does your mind go? Is it going to doom and gloom? Is it going toward trying to fix other people? Is it going toward what your dreams are? Do you talk yourself out of your dreams? Do you take action on your dreams? This solar eclipse and this new moon is asking you to be honest with yourself about what you want. Now, on Friday, as some of you may already know, if you love astrology like me, is that we have a very important cosmic experience that's happening. This is when Saturn and Neptune are becoming one, they're going to be in conjunction in the zodiac sign of Aries. The last time these two were together was in the 80s. The last time they were in Aries together was a long time ago. Every time these two, Saturn and Neptune, get together, these extreme events happen. And we may look at that and we're like, but things are already so extreme. And maybe we've been building up to this already. But with Saturn holding this archetype of limitation and restriction and hard work and obstacles, Neptune upholds this boundaryless existence, this dreamscape. And when these two get together, there's confusion. And sometimes for some of us, if we're getting confused or scared about the future, or our mind isn't pointed in the right direction, if we're not thinking about our dreams and the practical day-to-day things that we can do to allow that to unfold, we can really dig in our heels. And Aquarius, which is where the solar eclipse is happening, the shadow aspect is this digging in the heels and this being very fixed in the perspective and the thinking. And whether you're Aquarius or not, however this shows up in your chart, it doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter, but this is something that's impacting us right now. And the way that I see this is through a system that I created called the illusions of relationship. These are the different spells and sabotaging techniques that we can unknowingly buy into. It's like this life template stuff that's just in our bones. And when we buy into it, we push love away. And with this, we have the illusion of control and the illusion of absorption, which is very much this digging in your heels, posturing, my way or the highway, really rigid thinking. And what that does is it micromanages the universe and it closes your mind from all the brilliance that can move through you. So the wisdom of day one of mapping with the moon is to notice where your thoughts go and to start training your mind. Like if you can catch yourself, oh, wow, okay, I was doom scrolling for a while. I've been in these absolutes, always and never kind of thinking. That's fine. It's human, but notice it and redirect your mind. Maybe you can engage in a connecting conversation with someone. Maybe you can journal. Maybe you can take a walk and remind yourself that you are here for a reason. This pivotal time where Saturn and Neptune are together, there's this conjunction in Aries, you are here for it. So I'm going to look at the chat. Thomas says, yeah, baby, Aries rocks. What time does it come into being on Friday? You know, I will have to check my notes to give you that exact-ish time, Thomas. But what I can tell you is we're totally already feeling the impact of this because these are two outer planets and this is a significant collective shift. Nikki, I am so glad that you're here. Yes, okay. I just checked the Instagram feed. I have to go back and forth on screens here. Okay, so this is day 1 of mapping with the moon. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a collective reading. I'm going to use a tarot deck to support me with this. And after we do the collective reading, we are going to go into the individual mini readings. And I'll let you know when we're about to do that. And as I shuffle these cards, I realized I don't think I even introduced myself. I'm Lauren K. Wyatt. I am a psychic healer and an animal communicator and the Black Belt Mystic. And I love mapping with the moon. I love tuning in with the cosmos. Connecting with spirit is a part of my personal practice. It's an eclectic practice. It's something that I bring to all of my clients, whether they come in for a single session or whether these are my animal clients. And I also have, hi Ruby, I also have something called the Clarity Portal, which is a membership where I do weekly transmissions, daily short messages, and the monthly energy forecast. And I'm bringing this up now because people who are in the Clarity Portal, they are going to get some special goodies to assist them in navigating this eclipse with love, trust, and confidence. So they're going to get this replay and any goodies that Spirit wants me to offer them. And we also, as of yesterday, we opened the Clarity Temple in there, which is an online community, which I intend for it to be a robust space. And I understand things can build up. A robust space conversation about the weekly predictions, eclipse season, and different things that we're all moving through. Spirit has really asked me to incorporate more community, and I just said, okay, let's do that. So as I shuffle these cards and connect with this collective reading for us, let's take a moment to set an intention together. So deep breath in and out. And I'm just going to say a prayer, a quick one. Divine Creator and Creatrix, Divine Creator and Creatrix, Divine Creator and Creatrix, our allies, our guides, and our higher selves. Our allies, our guides, and our higher selves. Our allies, our guides, and our higher selves. I request spiritual assistance in infusing this entire Mapping with the Moon Day 1 session with divine love, divine light, divine truth, and clarity. I ask that everything that comes through me, that it is accurate and authentic and supports everyone who is here live and who listens to the replay and navigating this eclipse season with love and with trust and with confidence. Dear ones, take a moment to connect with your intention for the rest of our time as we go through this collective reading and as we go into the individual card pulls. What would you love to experience, receive? Is there a question that is in your heart right now? If it's just openness and presence, let that be enough. So let's do that right now. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you feel called to, you are so welcome to write that in the chat. And I'm shuffling until they ask me not to. Okay. Laying them down. Okay, interesting. Okay. So what I'm seeing is that a lot of this eclipse season, this moment in time, and where we're headed. The foundation of this is based on somebody else's life template. And I'm talking about like this external authority figure. There's charisma involved, there's charm. It almost feels like just the narcissism that is so present in so many forms of leadership and success these days. And this is the foundation of it. And yes, the foundation is cracking. And yes, that can feel totally destabilizing because a lot of us, like this is what we incarnated into. This has been going on forever. War, lies, power over others, greed. Remember, we all chose to be here. And some of us may have tried to play the game and it didn't work out so well. And even if we don't love the present picture of what's happening and what we're seeing and what takes over our minds and what grabs our attention, again, it can feel really uncomfortable when those foundations start to crack. It's like the house is falling down. It's time to get out. But the thing is Spirit wants you to know that even though this can feel uncomfortable and jarring, and even if it brings up these fears of how am I going to survive this? What is going on? It's hard to be grounded. I don't know where my footing is. This is a huge victory because changes are happening. If you are someone who can see change in a positive way, or who at least would like to see change in a positive way, this eclipse season, and as I look up, I have this beautiful view right now of the sunset. This eclipse season will feel more manageable for you. But the thing is, this isn't about managing. Is remember the illusion of control. We don't want to control the eclipse. We can't do that anyway. That will just drain us. It's anxiety provoking. But what we can do is we can allow the change to, well, it's going to unfold whether we allow it or not, but we can choose to be empowered and to see this as a victory. Look, all of the dreams that you have, all of the amazing experiences, these maybe your intention is you want to feel sovereign and empowered. Maybe you want your relationships to feel delicious, and you want to feel understood and seen. Maybe you want to go to new heights in your career. You want to trust your creativity. Maybe it's all of the above. If there are aspects of you who, like, where you're not experiencing this right now, it means that some change needs to happen. And to celebrate this as a victory and to connect more with what it is that you want and not what the life template in this external authority figure, whether this was with religious conditioning or these are just those archetypal shadow leaders, whatever it is, this is a time for you to connect with you. And Spirit is telling me that on the positive side of this, this is bringing the new earth in. The world can be yours, and it can be yours in a way where it's not taking from someone else. So start to connect with what that means. For me, this is a world where we respect one another, where we love and respect animals and the earth, where we're not arguing over stupid shit. So connect with what that is for you, and for you to know that they're reminding me, like, we have the law of polarity, which is a universal law that shows us that everything has an opposite. Right now, it depends on how you look at something, but if you're seeing despair everywhere, and if that is authentically your personal experience, I get it. I go through waves of that myself, and then I shift and refocus. My point is that when things seem grim or when they seem hopeless, that is an illusion, and our power is in how we choose to use those moments. Whether we listen to our intuition. Again, this eclipse season is very much about your intuition, about paying attention to your dreams. And it's also about taking action on these things. Saturn is involved. We have that conjunction that I talked about that's happening on Friday that we've been feeling for a while. And with Saturn and Aries, this is where we get to take all of that passion and that fire from Aries, and we get to implement it bit by bit into our lives. And this is really exciting. So what Spirit also wants us to know, and I thought that this was interesting, because this card, the Five of Pentacles, and if you know tarot, then you know that this is like the card of poverty. Well, the thing is the way I read it, I grabbed it, and it was reversed. And what Spirit told me is, like, all of that is an illusion. It's really spiritual poverty that is coming up into the spotlight right now. And when I say spiritual poverty, I don't mean that you have to be a holy person who doesn't drink caffeine or is like perfect and doesn't curse. What I mean is, when we outsource our authority to others, or when we are like constantly seeking validation, especially if it's from this system that tells us if you don't make a certain amount of money, like you're not good enough, or if you're not married and have a child, and all of these different life template things. If you're comparing yourself to that, or comparing yourself to anyone, that is how spiritual poverty can manifest in your life, and it can feel really uncomfortable. So you may notice that there are some different thoughts that come up where you catch yourself comparing yourself, or you do something to fit in, or for people to like you, or you're not focused on the things that are in your power to do. And this eclipse is, again, asking you to be in your power, asking you to pay attention to your authentic self and your creativity. And they're telling me genius doesn't come out when you're like everyone else. It just doesn't. So I'm going to look at the chat. Thank you for the whoosh, Thomas. And okay, I'm not seeing any comments. If any comments come up, you all are totally welcome to share. So what is coming in right now is this is a time for you to really be connected with your purpose and your calling. Now, this does not have to be a career. This can be how you parent your children, how you show up when you're in collaboration or when you're working with other people, and how you also approach the different things that we have to do every day, like eat, drink water, all of this. But there is a sense of purpose that is brewing within you. And it's usually things that you said, oh, I could never do that. And again, that came from comparison, from that spiritual poverty. But if something inspires you, and even if there's like jealousy that's happening, like if you find that you're kind of jealous of someone, that's because that's something that you could bring into your life too. And maybe you have blocks about that, but you could bring it in. So Candace says, I'm feeling very similar themes. Candace, you and I are always in sync with one another. Just from the very beginning, we can just talk to each other with our eyes and we're right there. So the advice for this eclipse is, I know I'm telling you to take action, but Spirit is also saying, do this with discernment. You don't have to leap into anything. There doesn't have to be any grand gestures. But what you can do is you can take steps. And you're also being asked to have some boundaries, and boundaries in a totally new way, like not so much the therapy speak that we find online. But this is between you and you deciding what you will give your attention to, and noticing when your mind is off track, or when you're just in these negative astrals, like when it's like daydreaming gone wrong. You are asked to pay attention to how you feel. And again, the theme comes in of not self-abandoning. So this eclipse season, it's going to move fast. We are going to have lots of revelations. There's going to be ideas. There's going to be conversations, writing. So much is coming in. And just breathe. I never thought I would say this, but thankfully Mercury is going to be in retrograde next week. That's happening on the 25th. We're going to do some work with Mercury on mapping with the moon call 2. But a good thing about Mercury being in retrograde is, because of how fast and racing these thoughts and ideas are going to be, we get to take our time. We get to take our time on implementing it. We don't have to jump on every good idea right away. We don't have to lose our footing and shut down because we're overstimulated. No, this is a good time to be mindful about where your thoughts are going, to pay attention to your dreams, and to start this new beginning in this eclipse season of really being yourself and doing it with these little things every day. And it could be redirecting your mind, taking some time to breathe, noticing when you're getting overstimulated, taking a break. Eclipse season isn't a time to overschedule yourself. So I'm looking at the chat here, and Tamika says, Find my version of myself that is joyful, free, and alive while creating love and abundance in all its forms through calm clarity, trusting self and my intuition or my hopes for the beginning, the start. Just maybe insight into what the next step, intention, hopes, and dreams before spiraling into the fog and chaos and immobilization. Yes, I so get that. And illusion of control can want us to have all the steps mapped out for us. But the thing is sometimes we only get one step or two steps. And we need to be okay with that, because as we just take those gentle steps, we get more information. We get more, like, our intuition comes in. There are different options that open up for us. So in addition to radical authenticity, this is about trust. So now, dear ones, we're going to start the card pulls and mini readings. And I'm using a deck that I affectionately refer to as Old Faithful. This is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. I've been doing live streams since 2017 or 2016, I think, with this deck. So I feel like this deck's one of my BFFs. But all of that to say, if you would like for me to draw a card for you, please tell me in the chat, as I won't just draw one for you without your consent or permission. So just let me know, and I'm going to go look to see if anyone on Instagram has shared anything. Okay. All right. So Candace, you are first, and then Catherine, I see you next, and then Nikki. Hi, Catherine. I haven't gotten to say hi to you yet. I'm so glad you're here. And Ruby. Okay, I'm going to stop. Let me just tune in. So again, let's all just take a deep breath together. Okay. See, I'm already living the guidance. Okay, Candace, the card that I grabbed for you is Find Balance. And the way that this comes in is you are experiencing these different rhythms within yourself. And you're finding what balance really is to you in this next chapter at this new level. And the wisdom from the spirit of the future and the winds of change in this Aquarius solar eclipse is also fuck balance. Like, you don't have to be this perfect person. What is balanced to you may not look balanced to someone else. And you're guided to really trust yourself on that, because when you have your own back, that creates that divine balance within yourself, and everything ends up like justice is served, is what's coming in. Okay, so let me know how that feels, Catherine. Catherine, your card is Lead. Wow, it comes in very cleanly for you. There is an opportunity where people want your perspective, where maybe you're asked to clean up a mess, is what I'm seeing. And this isn't about so much cleaning up other people's messes or making the chaos okay for everyone, but this has to do with teaching or mentoring in some way. And this, of course, can come through symbolically. So what Spirit is really asking you to do is to really step into your authority and to trust that the way that you would like to do something is the way that it needs to be done. And this may be differently than what other people who you respect have taught you, but this is a time for a change and for you to trust yourself in that way. Okay, Nikki. Crown chakra, number 7. Nikki, you have such a powerful mind. You are such an intuitive creature, but spirit really, the word creature did come in. Spirit really wants you to be mindful about where you're spending your mental energy and if it still aligns to you. I'm seeing that there are like some, I don't want to say lower, just like some lower frequencies that maybe they were aligned at some point. It's not anything that's bad. It's just, it's time for you to really be discerning about what you are putting your beautiful mind into, and to also trust that glimmer that you see and catch hold of, it may be different from what other people are seeing, but it's up to you to hold that. Tamika, you got balance as well. And the number here is 14. And this is really pointing to you getting in touch with your inner resources. And of course, I see these two people here merging together. And I think of the conjunction that's happening on Friday. I also happen to know you, and I know that Gemini is such a big part of your chart. And as I tune in, what Spirit is asking you to do is to start to connect with your heart, to start thinking with your heart, because your energy is so, there's a brilliance here too, where it has these different aspects and facets, and this can feel overwhelming. So what Spirit would like for you to do is to balance your body by making sure that you have your bare feet on the soil, that there is like some walks in nature and some breathing, and this can tune you into the truth, which will come from your heart center. Ruby, I see you, and this card's for you. This card says seek, number 9. And what comes in for me is there's this interesting combination of needing to have a beginner's mind, and also this willingness that you have of the seeker, but this willingness to receive the next step. And as I look at this image on this card, I see how open she is. And this number 9 here is a number of culmination. My feeling is that by when the lunar eclipse, which is also the full moon that's happening on call 3 of mapping with the moon, I think you're going to have some more clarity about what your next embodiment is of the answers that you seek. So what the next action is. there's an action that's required to move forward. So I'm going to check Instagram and see if anyone over there would like a card. Yay. Okay, Steph, you got it. Okay. So Stephanie, yours says, share the love. Number 3, the words love bug come up. And you have so much power, and this power is in your hands. And if you don't journal already, it would be so wonderful for you to do that actually with a pen and paper, because when we do that, it connects our heart and our brain, and it creates this coherence that happens. And you have so much love to give. So instead of withholding that, share it with others. When you love and you share your joy, whether it's through a hug or it's just giving someone your attention, this really does radiate through. And make sure that you give yourself your attention as well. There's a beautiful alignment that's happening with this solar eclipse right now, and it has to do with Venus's position in Pisces. Venus is all about love and self-expression and our relationships, and Venus loves being in Pisces right now. So all of us really need to follow that thread of love. And you absolutely need to, Nikki, and yours, not Nikki. I saw Nikki's name, Stephanie, and maybe you too, Nikki. You get to share that. So, and I saw that Casey wants a card. Casey, your card is moving on, number 8. And this is so positive because you've been in this liminal space, and I say liminal as I see the ocean and the sand, and the shores are just like, okay, we are walking between worlds right now, and you are very much in transition, and part of the transition and your guidance was to move on from something. And for you, even as new moons, and a solar eclipse is a new moon, this is about new beginnings. For you, it was to actually take that step to moving on. So it could be saying goodbye to something, walking away. But the words that come in are, do not withhold your joy, because moving on will allow you to experience that next level of joy and love and grace that you've been wanting. But it's up to you to take those steps forward, and you can trust it. And you probably already have, because this is a card that's coming in. Let me see who else. Yeah, Tina, hi. Okay, Tina, your card is awaiting results, number 7. And as I tune in with this card, I feel someone who has so much wisdom, someone who is grounded in who she is, and who is not backing down, and who also is not being forceful either. There is an art to waiting and awaiting results and being patient with that. And with Saturn being in Aries right now, there could be an impatience that's happening. And really, like, that impatience, it's such a part of our culture. But what I'm seeing with you, Tina, is that there is grace in the patience and in the waiting. And while you're waiting, make sure that you are aligning your energy toward what it is that you want, knowing, okay, I'm awaiting results, but with the trust that those results are coming, because Saturn always rewards efforts like this. But there's also something about not being super attached to what the outcome is. And I feel like you're like, you know this already, you practice this, and this is a reassurance to keep doing what you're doing and to let go and allow that grace and even more. So I'm going to see if anyone on Instagram. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Kelly, I am so glad that you made it. Let me know if you want me to draw a card for you. Catherine says, tears in my eyes. Thank you. Needed this validation. Time for my YouTube channel. Catherine, I just got goosebumps when you said that. Yes, it is absolutely time to do that. And people say, like, don't do something during the eclipse season. That's so, I think that that's silly, because this is a great time to take that energy of change and to move forward. You just need to be intentional about where you're going. Okay, Kelly would like a card. Awesome. Kelly, yours is believe and succeed, number 6. So there are times when we doubt ourselves. Very normal. And Spirit wants you also to know that your mind is powerful. And when you can notice the doubt creeping in, or if you're not believing in yourself, it stalls process. It solves progress. And what's coming in right now is I want to normalize how it's okay to have doubt. Doubt is a very normal part of the human experience, especially when you are building something or working towards something that is unconventional, or it's outside the norm, or it's something you haven't done, you're outside your comfort zone. Doubt's going to come in, and that's okay. When doubt is there, do not get mad at yourself for being doubtful, but instead just, okay, doubt is paying me a visit. And I know that at this moment, I might be feeling doubtful. Fine. It's human, but I am moving forward. And this phrase, failing your way to success, that just came into my mind. So a lot of times, and I'm thinking of the illusion of perfection, which is one of the illusions of relationship. This eclipse is here to really shake that up. The illusion of perfection is when, like, we have so much creativity and brilliance, but like, we think it needs to look a certain way, or we're afraid to really be ourselves and come forward. And this eclipse is shaking all of that up for you. So it's like you need to believe in yourself and give yourself grace and know that you will succeed. And failing our way to success, we got to try things. We got to see what works, what doesn't. We got to see how we respond to obstacles. As remember, we have Saturn and Neptune coming together. Saturn is in Aries. The worst or the most genuine failure is if you don't try, or if you hold yourself back. And Kelly, you are so powerful, and you can believe and succeed. So before I grab more cards and look at the chat, for my Clarity Portal members, I'm going to have these replays up longer. I am also going to have a simple ritual to navigate eclipse season with love, trust, and confidence. And we just started this community called the Clarity Temple in there. And I'm hoping that we can keep these conversations going. That's in my Clarity Portal membership. So I'm looking at the chats, and Candace says, LOL, it's this hard. No more sacrificing myself, holding space for myself and not so much for others in any self-sacrificial way. Yeah, because with the illusion of sacrifice, like we may put other people before us because we think like this is loving or this is like what good people do. But it doesn't serve anyone. Like we really get to empower ourselves and give to ourselves, and that makes us even more loving and supportive of our loved ones. Okay. Anessa, I'm so glad you're here. Hello. Okay, so Anessa, your card is Teach. And what I'm noticing about this card is she's holding this book and her hand is on it like she's blessing it. This feels like it's something that she's written, and I know that you've written a book. But what really comes to my attention here is this rose, and it's this pink rose. And what I'm feeling is this energy of self-love. And what a powerful teaching this has maybe been for you in your life, and how powerful it is for you to speak to your own experience and that, and to share it with others who need to hear this. It's a timeless teaching of self-love, especially in the spaces that we're in. But the way that it comes through you is the voice that is needed. And this little dog here shows me that you have so much support, your cosmic support. You have people who are waiting to hear from you. So let me see. And if you'd like a card, just let me know. I'll do this just a little bit longer. Sandra, hello. Sandra, your card is Release, number 13. And this is such an intense card. Like he's pulling off his sweater, his shoulders are exposed. And this is like, release these burdens. There is something that you have been carrying that is no longer authentic. I feel like this might be, maybe there's emotional labor that you're doing for other people. Maybe you're being overly responsible for someone, or there's just a lot of expectations that are put on you. And what Spirit wants you to know is you really don't have to do this anymore. There is another way forward. You can liberate yourself, because once you do that, you are going to have the bandwidth and the liberation to really move forward, and to let your heart shine. It's also time to release something, but it's not in the let go kind of a way. It's share it. So I don't know if this is something you've written, or something needs to be shared that you've created, and the release time is approaching. Okay, Thomas, you got it. He says, I would lovingly accept a divinely guided card. Words of wisdom, thank you. Thomas, the card that came in for you, and I did grab it reversed, is helpless and hopeless, number 8. I know that this is an illusion. And what I'm seeing here is there could be a lot of that thinking or those vibes around you, but notice that he's focused on the light. And what you need to know is that this light comes through you. And there's also this thing about, like, you are the keeper of hope. You are the divine helper that is coming through, and spirit wants you to know, to trust yourself, that this is an illusion. And when I see mountains, I think of obstacles. But notice it's like this mirrored image. And it's this black or white or duality thinking. So if there's any absolutes happening within you, like always and never thinking, or anything you're being super stubborn about, just, there's nothing wrong with that. Just look beyond that, and to know that there's so much light within you and that you are moving toward. So Ruby says, thank you. I love those cards. Perfect one for me. Totally. I love these cards too. And really every message that comes up for everyone, it's for all of us. It really is. Like, you may notice that you resonate with other people's cards or the message that comes through. The universal law of attraction, like attracts like. We're all in this space together. Catherine, you are so welcome. Kelly, you are so welcome. And Tamika just said, felt each person's cards resonate in different ways. Thank you, Kelly. And yes, yeah, everybody loves the cards. Hi, Vicky. I'm so glad that you're here. If you want a card, let me know. No pressure. Sandra says, thank you so much. I laughed when you pulled the cards, as I've been releasing emotionally so much in the last few weeks. Also, I need to relaunch my business. Thank you so much. Amazing. And usually, like, these eclipses and this time, like, we feel them before they happen. So much energy moving, different things come to our attention on what's ready to be cleared, and it can feel really intense. But when we release emotions, we are shaking up that energy. And this is why it's so good to move. It's so good to journal. If you like somatic work, like dance, chanting, wonderful ways to just let that energy move through. Ooh, Vicky, I'm so glad you'd love a card. Vicky, your card is Opportunity Beckons, number 4. And so he's this image, like, this man is on his balcony and his head is bowed. Like, it's kind of this divine humility that's there. And opportunity beckons. There is something for you. There is something in your field that wants to be seen, and the different things that are occurring in your life right now are really allowing you to connect with this opportunity. And what's coming in, and I don't know if this is exactly like for you specifically or all of us, is when triggering things happen in our lives, or something that's really activating, or it's super emotional, or maybe it's something where we feel scapegoated or victimized, that is always an empowerment opportunity. And yes, we get to honor how we feel. We get to let those emotions move through us. Totally valid. And we also get to remember that it's happening for us, even if it feels like it's happening to us. So, Vicki, there is an opportunity for you here, and it is an opportunity that will bring in more stability and connection. And don't discount and boring, is what Spirit says. Thomas, you are so welcome. You're a winner too. Okay, let me see. I have a comment I'm going to read, and it says, I've heard people don't know how to fail. Failing teaches you something you know. A lot of people give up. Others learn from it and move forward. That is so, so true. Yeah, some people, I don't know. I've been contemplating this lately. Some of us are maybe, I don't know, like I'm sure it's related to our astrology chart. I've been getting more and more obsessed and studying astrology and bringing that into my clarity portal transmissions and into my sessions with clients. I love studying. I love studying different divination systems and connecting with spirit. And yeah, I think that it could be a nervous system thing where like maybe we don't know what we're capable of, so we're afraid to try. And there's also this, like Carolyn Mace, who's an amazing spiritual teacher, she talks about this fear of humiliation, or this humiliation wound that we have. It is so illusion of perfection coded. It is much worse to hold yourself back because of what a small group of people might think about you than to really let your light shine and be in service. So remember this solar eclipse in Aquarius is like, this is like about being in service to humanity. So maybe something that you just do for yourself is going to help a lot of people. And it doesn't matter what your family of origin thinks or what trolls on the internet think. In fact, when I got my black belt in Kung Fu, my first degree black belt that took me years to do, I was trolled by a small group of people, okay, hundreds of low vibe people. And I'm glad that I didn't let them get in my bones or in my head, because F them. Anyway, see, you can be a spiritual person and be sassy too. So let me see. Aaron, I think, okay, Aaron's up. Aaron, your card is Healing Begins, number 6. And what I love about this is the image on here, she's peeking out. And she's like, okay. And it looks like she's going on stage. And this is really your time to shine. And the next phase in your healing has to do with you being more visible, like pulling back the curtain, letting people in. There's this whole heart awakening that's happening for you. You're in a new chapter right now, and this is a new layer of healing. And it's also in how you facilitate healing with others, which I know that you're very much in service that way. So, okay. I'm asked if I believe in the Bible. I accept the Bible. I know that it exists. I'm spiritually eclectic. Okay, so Tamika says, my reading card was so aligned in words, my weekly readings and lunar temple ritual, heart flame is my essence, and truth and joy is my compass. So hearing each reading and card are so supportive, carrying and open a window to a connection in my life. Thank you. You are so welcome. And Erin, you are so welcome. I'm so happy you're here too, by the way. Wow. So this was just call one, mapping with the moon. We have 4 more calls together. And the next, all of them are going to be, as far as I know, we're going to have Mercury retrograde. This is eclipse season, so I'm flexible. But as far as I know, all of our calls are going to be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. I don't know if we're going to always go this long, but I enjoyed my time so much with you today, and I hope that you have gotten something from this live stream. If you haven't signed up already, if you do, you get a guidebook that can support you in mapping with the moon as well. And I am just so grateful to be with you and to do this eclipse work together. Again, this is a time where I'm usually just feeling so tired because it's a lot of eclipse energy, is a lot of energy, but it's very energized to be here with all of you. And just looking at the comments, Vicki, I'm so glad it resonates. That's amazing about your advocacy center. Fun and interesting, Kelly says. Catherine says, beautiful first meeting with you, Lauren. Thank you. You've inspired me to step up and rise. Beautiful space. Yes, I love that. Beautiful first meeting. Oh, I just read it, like highlighted that comment like a million. Okay, only 3 times for me, but yes, beautiful first meeting with all of you. Let's keep this up. Join me here on Tuesdays for Mapping with the Moon. I'll have a replay available for a few days. After that, it's going to be up in the Clarity portal in the Moon Vault, where we're all going to chat in the Clarity Temple about what's happening. So if you're interested in taking this to the next level, I'll put a link for the Clarity portal there so you can check it out. And it's also in my bio too, but I'm just so grateful for all of you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.